Are we live? Yes. Okay.
All right. Cool. So we're live. Hello, everyone.
Hello and good evening, everyone. So welcome to our second episode of the series Crosstalk. My name is Jay.
This time you said it correctly.
Yeah.
My name is Till.
Yes. So we are very excited to be here. It's only the second time we are doing this series. So and we have improved a lot of technical stuff since the first time. Yeah, since the first time. So today we have a very special guest, but I'm not going to introduce him right away because I'm not sure for some of you maybe you have not heard about us. Okay, maybe Till, would you like to explain a little bit like who we are, why are we doing this thing?
All right. As you can see in our beautiful T-shirts, we are ICEHongKong or Intercultural Education. We want to connect people to understand the world better. And we want people to really, really feel what it's like to be in another country, to understand beyond the news. Because in the news, you hear a lot of bad things sometimes. You also hear a lot of stories from third-person perspective. You know, some reporter from your country has been somewhere and says something. Or you hear some rumors in Facebook or WhatsApp groups. But from the beginning in ICE, we wanted human connection. We wanted to hear from people in reality. Most of the time, we do this by going to schools and universities and arranging conversations between people. But now, due to the coronavirus, we'll have to find different ways. And now we think, why not online? We hear so much about quarantines and lockdowns and which countries have how many cases of coronavirus. And it's hard to actually hear the human stories. And we're happy to have an amazing friend who's actually been in some Hong Kong schools before. He is from which country, Jay?
Of course, it's from the lovely country of Italy. Hey, can we welcome? His name is Dario. So let's welcome Dario over here. Dario, can you say hi to our audience? Okay, so Dario, can you just briefly tell everyone like who you are and what we are doing? We know you, but the audience might not know you. So it's very safe for you. It's a very safe for you because there are more trees than people in your place. Okay, we're gonna maybe we can show the map.
One second. First of all, I have to say that the video connection from Italy is not perfect. So you may sometimes see very pixelated face.
5,000 people in the whole town, and so that's Oh, and okay, so so it's a very small place, and the internet, and obviously everyone is using the internet right now in Europe, I would say, like Netflix or whatsoever. So that's why it's a bit pixelated, right? And
so maybe I also asked Dario try to speak as slowly as possible because the connection is not very good and it may be a bit difficult for people to hear. So speak very slowly, and then maybe we can show a little bit about what it actually looks like. Like where is Italy, or where is the place where you come from?
Perugia?
Exactly. So let's have a look. Okay.
So we'll show the video out so for everyone to be able to appreciate where Dario is from.
Okay, will take us a second. Okay, so let's have a look. So you can see we're opening some files here on the computer. Yeah, let's have a look at a map of Italy. Okay. So, as you can see, it's basically the center. Maybe, I'm not sure on the internet if you can see Umbria in the very center, the center of Italy.
So you're right smack in the middle of all land, right?
Let's have a look. Maybe there are some more pictures.
Okay, so town festival.
Yeah, maybe you can guide us through some of the pictures. Town festival? What is this about?
Yeah, every summer in my town there is a boat race festival. Because our 600 years ago, the main family from Buddha came to conquer Papiniano. The family, the royal family, that's the royal family of Papiniano. But they were independent Papiniano so strong that they pushed out Peruvian people from Perugia and they ran away from the lake. So they took boat in their shoulder, they ran with boat on their shoulder, and as soon as the lake, they just run away. So every year in Paciano, we do this festival every boat race between the counties of
So it's to commemorate. It's like a festival to every year to commemorate this this event, right? And so what's so is this still happening right now? With the, I mean, of course, people are in a lockdown, and so. Yes. I see. Wow. So a lot of so because of the virus, a lot of these festivals are being cancelled, and all of you are having to stay inside the home right now, right? And every town has, yeah. And so now it's all completely empty. Right? It's just everyone is staying home. And how long have you been staying home? I mean, since when did you start? Today? Oh, wow. So it's one entire month you have been in home and not. Oh, I see, I see. Yeah. So it's gonna be it's gonna be so you have been staying in the home entire time, not even seeing your niece growing up, and having to meet your family 24 hours 7 days a week. That's, if I were you, I would be very, I don't know what to do actually. And mm, 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 mm. I see. So it's at least, so it shows like how, in Italy, like kind of family is a very important element as well, right? Yeah. So I have some questions for you. Some of it from our audience, because they are all very concerned about the situation now in Italy. You know, we see the news, so much of the infection and deaths, and as a person who is currently living in Italy right now, right? I think we can actually run through like this. These some of the questions I'm personally very interested in. Is like the idea of panic buying, right? Here in Hong Kong, in Singapore where I'm from, people buy a lot of toilet paper, and it just ran out. How about for in your case, you know, in your town or in your city, was there any panic buying at all, and what are the things that they were actually buying? What are like few things that ran out? Mm. 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 And and it's in the north, right? Yeah, we can we can show the map for everyone in a short while.
Yeah, just give us a second. Some of the audience members, they tell us that you didn't see anything when we tried to share. It was a black screen, so we're figuring it out. So meanwhile, let's learn a little bit more, and we're showing you the map in a minute.
Yeah. Okay. So while they're doing all the technical stuff, you know, we're still figuring things out. This is also the first few times we are doing this. So it happens in the north. Most of you're saying like there are a lot of panic buying, but not so much in your town. Then and so what were they actually? Mhm. Mm. Ah. Oh. So yeast is the only thing that is the. Mm. So okay. So here's one thing for the audience as well. So actually, for in Dario's town or place, people are buying up the yeast that is used for bread making, or I suppose also for the pizza dough or anything like that, right? All these like dough, they want to buy the yeast because it's very important for them to cook or to bake. Ah. Oh, what about the toilet paper? I mean, you know, in Asian, a lot of Asian countries, or even not just Asia, a lot of people buy up the toilet paper. But in your case, so no one is like grabbing all the toilet paper and.
Okay. Dario chat us already in advance what they're actually buying instead. We have a picture. Give us a second. We want to see if we can share the picture now.
Yes, so it's apparently this is very important to them. And this is the of course the pasta. Okay, pasta. But what is this? Why is this circle? Like, I mean, I see a picture that's a circle.
Yeah, sorry Dario, you cannot see it, but we on the internet can all see it. So there is some pasta and it's in a circle. What pasta are you talking about actually?
Penny, okay. Penny lishe. Mm-hmm. So even the things like linguine, spaghetti, fusilli, everything is snap out. But this one particular pasta, the how do you pronounce it again? Peniliche. This thing, no one likes it. It's still there even during the coronavirus panic. Alright, that's crazy. That's crazy. It's very funny for me as well. Hmm. 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 So there's a bit of a there's a bit of a cultural learning for our audience as well, right? Not every pasta has a certain sauce or like thing to go along with. You cannot just mix and match pasta, right? Otherwise, our Italian friend will be very angry at you.
Okay. One thing, maybe a quick thing is, Dario, can you try to speak as loudly as possible or go as close to the microphone as possible, so it's easier to hear, and speak slowly. And apart from the pasta, maybe we can also have a look at some other picture you send us. You cannot see it, but we'll try to describe it to you. So we have a beautiful photo with a castle lit in Italian colors. Is that also your hometown?
Yeah, that is my hometown. And because with this because after school was finished, people started to get depressed, people started to miss going out, going to the castle, and up here you can go up there, and there's a beautiful view of the lake. So this was sharing beautiful photos of our town to make people, and they say we're going to go back to our town so fast. Don't worry about it. But right now, just they don't know what the future, but everything is okay.
Oh, okay. So it's to give people hope, right? So we can see this is actually Dario's hometown, right beside the lake, okay? And that's what Dario said, like, because after a few weeks at home, you get very depressed, and you really need to get out. And so this is to give the residents some hope. And I have a first question from the audience.
Sorry if it sounds a bit stereotypical. Okay, this can be a bit cliche.
Yes, so sorry. Yeah. So someone asked, how much pasta have you stored at your home, inside your home?
We have normal amount of pasta every day. Like normally about 1 or 2 kilos of pasta.
So 1 or 2 kilos of pasta, and it can last you for how long?
We're 3 people, so it's like 1 week maybe.
1 week. Okay. Okay.
Because we're 3 people.
And even though there is a lockdown, right? I understand that people can leave their home to buy groceries,
Yeah.
right? And how yeah.
If you ask me alone, I cannot go with my mother.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. You have to be alone. Second of all, you have to pen on paper
Mm-hmm.
and tell the polygraph paper is like where you're from and where are you going and why are you going. Like there's some reason that you can actually go to help your elderly relatives
Uh-huh.
if they're sick.
Ah.
You cannot be on their own. You can go buy medicine.
Mm-hmm.
Now, all the essential needs you can go buy, but you have to demonstrate you're going to buy essential needs because otherwise, Italian people are very good at lying.
So actually, you can see it on the screen right now.
So actually, for Dario, you cannot see, but we are showing the picture that of the form, and so according to Dario, you need to write this form to in order to show to the police, and writing their address and where you are going, and Dario also said that you cannot go with other people. You have to be alone, right? Yeah, you have to be alone. But so you cannot even have two people in one car. So you have to go out driving alone. But you can buy for your relatives, your elderly relatives, if they are sick. So we can actually see how long this slip of paper is, and can you walk us through like what like some of the things that it's just saying where you are going, right? Or because it's all in Italian.
It's like, you have to say your name, your surname,
Mm-hmm.
where you live, where are you going, and why are you going.
Like the reasons why you're okay.
Because I sent you the last version, but it keeps changing every 3 or 4 days.
So
I have to open it too.
and so you download this from the internet, from the government website.
Yeah.
And then you can then send it. Then you can print it, and then you can sign it, and then take it out with you when you go out.
And actually, if you cannot print it, and like the police stops you and you say, I couldn't print it, they will give it to you and they will make you sign it.
Okay. So it actually shows that the police are out there. They're not really trying to make things difficult for you, right? They are really helping you, making sure that
actually they're doing good because they're trying to make people respect the rules.
Yes.
But they're also trying not to scare people. They're doing a really, really great job. They're trying not to scare people. They're trying to make people feel safe rather than in prison.
So they're really trying their best to make sure that people just stay indoors and don't come out. Stop the
yeah. Because we don't have enough masks and sanitary materials for all of that.
So let's actually have a look at what this empty town looks like when people are not on the streets and having parades, okay? So on the internet you will be able to see in a second what it actually looks like. So you have to turn your head a little bit.
I want to say that all my life I never seen my town like this. That's kind of crazy.
Okay.
It's a vertical video.
Yeah. So it's rotated, but it's okay. Just have a look.
So as you can see, so this is what's happening right now in where according to Dario, it's supposed to be you've never seen your town so empty before. Am I right?
Especially right now. Right now it's spring. It's not spring. It's a beautiful day. Maybe it speaks of it that I can show you how much sun there is outside.
So it's an amazing weather, and yet there are almost zero people out there because of the whole virus situation.
It looks very beautiful, I have to say, especially with few people.
So I do have a question for myself actually. So how are the citizens dealing with this lockdown? I mean, from what I understand, people are very sociable as well. You probably want to meet people. You have a lot of body contact as well. So how are your friends, your family, how are they dealing with this whole lockdown?
Yeah, there are many ways. I think the most iconic way of it, maybe you heard of aperitivo. Do you know what aperitivo is?
Aperitivo?
Aperitivo. It's like, is it, am I correct? Is it like just kind of having a drink on the streets or something?
Yeah, but before dinner. It's like, before dinner you go to some pub, not pub, like bar, and you have an alcoholic drink with your friends, and then you go to the dinner. And it's like Italian people cannot live without this. So right now we're doing it online. So everybody has their own wine in their home and they're chatting and drinking wine together. So we just try to keep it like social. Try to, Italian president said, let's stay away, but let's keep united.
Okay, so I think that's a very good quote, right? Stay away physically, but still do things as normal to keep the whole everything, your life running. And
people are showing like how to train in your house, how to do training in your house. They're showing recipes. Many people are learning to cook now.
That's a good thing, I would say.
All right. We got some questions from audiences, and one of the stuff is maybe a little bit less happy about pasta and a bit more serious. That relates to social media. Do you want to talk about that?
We can.
So there's this hashtag that's getting popular, this graziecina, this thank you China hashtag on social media. I guess you know what this is about. Just I don't know, to check that the audience also know what this means. Can you quickly share what is this hashtag?
This hashtag is for I think from Sichuan in China, they send a lot of equipment and for hospitals in our country, and they really needed that, because one of the main problems we have with infected people in Italy, that there is a large number of infected people that is doctors, like they do not have the right equipment to deal with patients. So a lot of every material. So it's not only about China. Even Albania, Albania is not the richest country in the world. But even Albania sent us. So it's thank you for everyone showing, is sending us help and showing, they're giving us hope.
So sending a lot of support. And
let us know that we are not alone.
Yes.
In this world.
Yes. So actually, besides, like you're talking about, besides China, there were like other neighbors also sending supplies to the north area, especially where it's the hardest hit, right? To help out with the doctors and stuff. Okay.
Unfortunately, we don't need it now in many regions. I think we just passed 1,000 cases.
Okay.
So it's not much. It's actually not much.
So I think it's very important for our audience to know, and for Italy, when you talk about a lot of these geographical thing, you see on the news, is you have to look at also the regions as well, and not just think of everything as just one entire big landmass, right? And like what Dario said, it affects the north, the center, the south. They all have very different number of cases as well, right?
Okay, some more questions from the comments. We have one asking about elderly living alone. Is this a problem? And are there a lot of elderly people living alone? In general, how are elderlies doing? Because we all know they are the most in danger of the disease.
I think for elderly people, they're not following the rules at all. If you see people outside, it's gonna be elderly people, because I don't know, maybe they think they can overcome the virus, but I don't know, because I'm actually impressed, because many young people they reacted well, and we are all like, let's stay home and let's try to do together. Let's protect our elderly. But our elderly, they want to play cards. They want to play briscola, that is a common card game in Italy. And nothing's gonna stop them. We try so hard, but so I think in many houses, it's not my case because I don't have grandparents anymore, but I think they're still there. We would argue, like my parents, they argue. Just
So they're arguing with the elderly, stay at home but the elderlies, which are the most
stubborn, maybe.
Going to be affected, most easily affected when they are actually trying to get out.
Oh, yeah, that's tough. That is tough. Maybe one interesting question. Someone's asking, so if everything stopped and our public transportation also stopped, what if people really have to go to an airport, or now I guess you can't even fly anywhere, right? Oh, so you can still go to buses and stuff.
Yeah, but still, if the police finds you and you don't act right, it's gonna be from 400 euros to 3,000 euros.
Oh my God.
Like
Wow.
30,000?
Yeah, that is crazy.
Yeah, that's almost around like 20 something, 30,000.
That's interesting.
Hong Kong
So
dollars.
everyone's empty, you can't go out, but public transportation is still up there for those who have a valid paper.
Yeah, and they did not cut it. It's not like less public transportation because if you cut the public transportation, then many people will get on the same bus. So they try to
Right.
Oh.
That makes sense. Okay, I have one thing that's a bit more less serious, a bit more fun, and something a bit more serious. So for the less serious one, some more food again. Sorry, because I guess you're Italian, so people have food questions. Pineapple and pizza. You know the endless debate. What does a real Italian say to that? Is it okay to have pineapple on pizza?
You know, I think maybe you see the video of that Italian mayor say that it will send policemen with flamethrowers.
Yes.
That's what we say about people putting pineapple on pizza. We'll send the police with flamethrowers. I actually see a meme about it. So that's why I'm telling it.
Oh, so you would say like as an Italian, right? If you have a pizza on pineapple, a pineapple on pizza.
Even let's say even if people are getting like everything out of the supermarkets and things are getting really hard to get and everyone's buying pasta and stuff, and there's one pizza left with pineapple on it, will people buy it or no? Even
No pizza with
okay, there is no pizza with pineapple in Italy. Okay.
So you cannot find pizza with pineapple in Italy, right?
Maybe you can find it in Rome.
Oh, the international cities,
Alright.
but otherwise it's not.
All right. Another one that's a bit more serious is because we also talk about things like fake news, right? So you also shared some pictures with us, like what is going on in the media and what are people saying, what are people sharing. So we'll share a few pictures and maybe you can comment on it. Sorry that we'll have to describe it.
Yeah, so for the audience, I have to explain a little bit. So what happened is that just this morning, we actually through like parents groups and something like that, we actually receive a lot of these pictures that supposedly shows Italy, and all the very very scary things. And then we thought, hey, this is a good time to for our friend Dario to kind of debunk any of these these pictures or fake news. Is a very big problem right now, especially because of the coronavirus. So let's have Dario. Maybe you can take a look at the picture and tell us, is it even real or fake? Okay, just by looking at the pictures.
Yeah. Yeah. So the first one we see.
Oh, right.
Hospital.
No,
It looks like a hospital.
All right, you cannot see. Yeah, so you have to see from the YouTube. Yeah. Do you have the YouTube live going on right now?
No.
Ah, okay. So
If you want, you can open it on your computer to give us one more view. But we can also try meanwhile to describe.
So one of the things that actually we have talked about with Dario earlier this afternoon is a picture of a person that's supposed to be the Prime Minister. Is that?
True. I mean, it's that's mankind.
Sorry, can you say again? The internet connection.
Oh yeah. I mean, the person from the picture you sent me.
Uh-huh.
You can clearly see is the president of Brazil.
That's Bolsonaro, right?
Yes.
That's Bolsonaro, is the president of Brazil, and Italian president never said something like that. Actually, he's behaving really good. He's trying to give hope to the people, not to spread fear. But not even to underestimate the problem. He's just saying, let's take things seriously.
Yes.
Okay, so if you ever seen this picture before, it's fake. Please remember.
That picture is fake. So first of all, like what Dario said, it's not even the Prime Minister of Italy. That is the President of Brazil, and Prime Minister of Italy actually is trying to give hope to the people and not saying things like this. So very important thing about this whole situation is check the sources. All right, there's so many fake news going around. Okay, and but one of the picture with the army truck, I suppose that is a real thing, right, in Italy.
Yeah. That one is real because North Italy, I said, like, especially Bergamo and Brescia, that are two cities kind of near Milan, they were hit really, really bad by the COVID-19. And this is Bergamo. Maybe some of people that is watching, they know, they watch Champions League, they watch football, and there's a team, Italian team Atalanta, that is doing really well in Champions League. That is the team of Bergamo, the city of Bergamo. And Bergamo is so small that cannot even host a Champions League game. So from one month to another, they find themselves with 10 times more people dead. And they don't know how to manage it in the beginning. Because it was new. So they asked the military for help. They said, just help us to stick these people in like other cities around here, because we cannot take it. Right? So Bergamo is like 120,000 people. It's really, really small city. It's smaller than Perugia, actually. It's really, really small, and it cannot handle this much of death.
Okay, so that's why we have to get the army trucks to go in and help them out, right?
Yeah, that's the reason that it's
Yes.
really sad, because they did not have enough crematorium in Bergamo. So they didn't want to keep dead people in their obituary, so they sent them to other city crematorium. That's the real news. And
That's-
it's sad. It's really
Sad.
sad.
I mean, that picture is gonna go in the history books in Italy, I think.
Yes. It's true, but it's sad news as well. But out of all these many different pictures, I think we also agree that only this one is the real one.
Yeah.
And then the rest are all pretty much from other countries.
The other one military trucks.
Uh-huh.
They're not even Italian.
So
I don't know where they're from,
yes.
but I know they're not Italian.
yeah, so a lot of these pictures, like if you have the news, if you have someone to ask, like in this case, you can ask a real Italian, and he can straight away tell you whether it's true or fake news. Okay, so it's very, very important for our audience. The next time if you see any of these WhatsApp pictures and anything like that, don't be so sure to forward it. Okay, ask our guests anything. But we're also opening up just for people now who are watching this right now. We're opening up our live chat. Feel free to ask questions to Dario. We'll be staying around for a few more minutes, and we can actually ask him to answer your questions.
And good news, we fixed some audio problems, so now you should be able to hear Dario in a clearer way.
Yes. So,
Perfect.
anyway, let's keep it a little bit lighter. So I do understand you have been in home for one entire month, and there are many people out there who are also facing the similar problem, who will be staying for a few more weeks. Do you have any tips for them, like your experience? How can you survive this lockdown?
Honestly,
And wait. I wanna preface this with one more statement. I just don't want any Hong Kongers to misunderstand what it really means. Like in Italy, they're really being at home, not the Hong Kong style at home, but still go out all the time to like go to restaurants and like really at home. Like you cannot go outside without the piece of paper. I want everyone to really understand it. If you can deal with that, then it's quite easy to deal with Hong Kong situations. So how
in
do you
this
deal
month,
with
I
really
only left my home once. Only once I left my home because I told my dad this time I'm gonna do the
Wait.
groceries.
Once in how much? How long?
30 days, 1 month.
3 days, one time.
No, 30 days.
So 30 days.
One entire month. I only went out once for 20 minutes, 25 minutes
In
to go buy
30
groceries.
days.
Came back.
So not even shopping.
No, but just you cannot go shopping. You have to be fast. Like there's, it's not policeman, but it's like people's protection. I don't know because I don't know how to translate it. It's like a Red Cross, but
Ah.
there are people that like be fast, don't go near other people. Because usually, when you in Italy, when you go supermarket, you know the people who work there, so you chat with them. You meet people, so it's always like a big party. Like everything in Italy is a kind of a
So-
big party.
So
But
unlike
now you go take your stuff and come back home, and do not leave house, not even for a walk, nothing.
oh, okay. So unlike in Hong Kong, where people just go around doing things, not interacting, and in Italy, you meet a stranger, you actually try and talk and
Yeah, sure.
and interact, right? And this is a bit difficult right now with the whole situation, and so
Yeah.
you actually have to not fight, but you actually have to tell your dad to give that chance for you to go to the supermarket, just
Yeah.
so that you can get out of home.
Yeah, I kind of walk a little bit
Mm.
because. So my tip for people in my situation is to try to eat healthy and do as much exercise as they can, because it's really unhealthy to be in bed for 1 month. It's really, really unhealthy. So
Wait.
keep your brain.
Can you give some advice? You said exercise, but how can you do exercise at home if you can't go to a gym? Do you have any advice?
Yeah, I almost every day do push-ups, try to run on the same place. Everything is okay, just to keep the blood pumping. Even yoga, just something to keep your body live. Because otherwise you just
Yes,
too much
otherwise
sedentary.
you'll just rot inside your the bed or something like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
And not only the body, but always even the mind.
Mm.
You have to keep you have to keep reading, keep doing mental exercise, homework, work stuff, because you have to keep your mind active. You cannot watch bad news or play video games all the time, because otherwise you will get a bad body in a bad mind. And in Latin they say mens sana in corpore sano. It means a healthy mind in a healthy body.
That is something that you actually told me when you were in Hong Kong, like that
Healthy mind,
exercise,
healthy
healthy mind equals a healthy body. I think that is something that I
Healthy body,
remember up
yeah.
to.
It's a
even up
very
to
Italian
now.
thing.
And-
Okay, we have an interesting audience question as well. Asking, how do you guys take care of dogs if you can't even go out for a walk? Because on Monday we talked to a lady from Germany who lives in Spain, and it said in Spain you can go out with a dog, so dogs are in high demand. Everyone wants to have a dog. Is it the same?
Actually, you can, but you have to be not more than 200 meters from your home door. So you have to be around your home, and you have to be fast as possible.
So do you have
You
to
cannot
write a
go-
paper and say like you are gonna
Dog.
walk a dog, and then
No, I don't think you need paper for that, because if they ask for your documents, they will see that you live there. They will be,
okay.
okay, that's okay.
But they will always check for your address, right? Like where you live,
Yeah,
and that
of
you're not
course,
too
because
far
if
away
you
from your home.
If you go in another town, it's gonna be bad news for you. You cannot leave your town for any reason.
So basically, your area is just the town, right? You want to walk a dog, you can, but only 400 meters within your home, which
Yeah,
is
200 meters.
200 meters. So 200 meters, which is kind of like your town area.
Yeah, and from yesterday they told people can take their children out a little bit
You can.
if they keep the distance, and they can, other than the dog, they can do it with children.
Okay. Okay.
But other than that, you cannot do anything. You just
So
stay.
so besides exercising, do you and learning about cooking, right? Maybe you can give our audience one or two more tips, like what have you done?
Maybe maybe is there something you always have to learn, like another language, or maybe another subject, something that you've always been interested into but didn't have time. Right now is the right time to do it.
Okay.
for people interested in programming, learn a new programming language. People interested in language, learn a new language, or read a book that you always wanted to read.
So that's the perfect. Now it's a perfect time for people to really learn something new.
Totally agree.
Yes, we have one. Let's take one last question or one last two question. This is about church, because as we know, Italians, or Italy is probably it's a very Catholic country. Would you agree? And so have they completely stopped service in the Sunday mass?
Or are they doing like online church?
Yeah. But there was a lot of arguing about that because people, they still want to do it. I don't know if you see that image of the Pope with an empty square.
Oh, so there's no online mass going on, right? Just stop. Oh.
No, there's someone that's doing it actually, online mass, yeah. But only online, because at the beginning of the lockdown, people were still going to the church, especially older people, as we know.
Okay. I see.
So, but right now, all the churches are closed. You cannot go.
Difficult.
Maybe that's a little personal, but I'm really curious. You mentioned girlfriend earlier, but you haven't been able to see her for the entire lockdown, right? So not even once. So is it just you, or is it really that strict? Because I'm pretty sure in Hong Kong, people would say like just visit and then stay there. Just visit that one person. That's not a problem. Like just that one person. But is it just you, or is everyone so strict?
My girlfriend lives in another town.
Oh, another town. Yeah, okay.
But even if she lives in if she's like 200 meters away from me, it's okay because nobody's gonna. But even if like 2 or 3 or 4 kilometers away, you cannot go there. And people have already been fined for that.
So there are already reports of people who try to look for their girlfriends and boyfriends and then get a heavy fine, which is again can be up to 30,000 Hong Kong dollars or 3,000 euros. Right, that's insane amount. Feels like Singapore.
Yeah, but they did it on purpose. Yes, because there were many people that doesn't respect the rule in Italy, and so they were okay. We'll make you respect the rules because this time is fundamental. It's really important. We cannot not respect the rules. We have to go out of this situation fast as possible.
Okay, then maybe lastly, just want to ask, is there any other thing that you would like to say that maybe you feel people misunderstand about Italy, or maybe they only see half the truth on the news? Is there anything else you want people to understand what's going on in Italy?
Yeah, no, the only thing I want to share is like, even if you see Italian people posting bad things about Chinese people, we're not all like them. That's the minority of people. We love like Chinese, Singaporean, Malaysia, everyone. We're not racist against everyone. But there's starting to be a lot of racism in Italy. Even if they're racist against people from Milan, people is ignorant. So they don't know the difference between a Chinese, a Vietnamese, a Japanese. They don't know the difference. They're all just Chinese. So this racism spread to all Asian people. So every Asian people living in Italy is having a hard time because of these people. But we're not all like this, and we try to defend these people as much as we can. Like my girlfriend, she's an immigrant from China, and she lived like some bad situation, like people insulting them, people going to the stores and tell them. I think this is not an Italian battle. This is a world battle against racism, and I think we should fight against this.
Yeah, that's a very, very good, very important message as well, because the virus tends to mix. We have seen a lot of reports, but like what Dario said, it's only a minority. So for our audience as well, please do not think of everyone as every Italian.
The problem is that minority scream louder, So it seems there are more people just because they like to scream louder, and normal people, they don't like to scream. But it's not like this.
Yes. So that is very important, to see that. That's why we wanted to have this series, where we get, people can actually ask a real person from the country some questions to debunk the myths. So as we learn right from firsthand from Dario about the situation right now in Italy. And for our audience as well, if you have any questions, or you don't know what, if you're watching this after the live, you can feel free to message us on our Instagram, on our Facebook, and also share with us your comments about how we can improve on the series. And last but not least, if you would like to propose some of the topics, besides this COVID-19, okay, what else would you like to learn about Italy? Okay,
if you want to know more about pizza and pasta,
please let us know. Comment in the chat, or direct message us on our Facebook, ICEHongKong, or our Instagram or YouTube, InterCulturalEducation. Let us know how we can improve, and let us know what you want to hear, and we will make sure that we can deliver on that, right? But for now, we have to thank Dario so much, Dario from Italy. Okay, thank you so much for your time sharing about the situation and your feelings about it, and I'm sure that our audience actually learned a lot. And stay safe, stay healthy, okay? And I wish that the virus will go away soon, and we can meet up with each other again.
Can you share with us how to say goodbye in Italian?
Oh, you can just say ciao. It's
Ciao.
okay for goodbye too.
Yeah,
Alright.
so have to say ciao. All right, thank you.
Ciao. No, ciao a tutti. It's
Ciao a
goodbye
tutti.
to everyone.
Oh,
Ciao a
ciao a tutti. Okay, ciao a tutti.
Goodbye.
Bye, guys.